Also is especially again in ethnic communities like ours where we are very social. Our events are packed with food. Kenyan culture is there's a lot of drinking in Kenyan culture. So if how do we best support people knowing that's the social context that we're living in or that we've come from or that we're used to? How do we support people?
How do we support people?
Mm.
Don't be judgmental. That person already has enough on their plate. So don't be like, can you eat that? As I said, I will knock you out. So I have had people who maybe like hide when they're injecting to avoid questions or sorry to give you this example, but there's a time I was going across the border from Kenya into another country, which I will not say. I love all my neighbors. I love them truly with all my heart, and I'm not being sarcastic. Um, and the lady was like, "So when you put your bags through the thingy for to check, and I had like supplements, my malaria tablets, my so I have as I say, travel light is a myth for me. It does not exist. It's like I take what I need with me because I don't know what name it will be under, if I can find it, what the equivalent is.
And the safety.
Yeah, all of them. So I take it with me. And she scanned it and then she opened and she's looking at me and I'm looking at her. And she's like, you must be very sick.
Oh, wow.
She's, but it was because they had like supplements, malaria tablets, Imodium, everything. And she was like, she was looking at me and looking at things. She did all the swabs, did everything. And I was like, I'm diabetic. She didn't get it, but I know what her language meant. She was like, wow, it's a lot. But that's what she could say then. So, what I would say to people is also be curious but cautiously because you don't know in at what stage that person is. Maybe this is overwhelming for them. So I don't know, it's like check the temperature. You know, like little kids when you tell them something is hot. So every time they pass the oven, they're like
Yeah, true.
you know,
Yeah.
just sort of check the temperature or even just ask, is now an okay time for me to ask? Can I just ask?
Sure.
Yeah, so I think that is one of the ways in which a lot of people, I'd say, especially in the workplace, so the people who I work with closely. So at some point, they'd even be like, it's two older gentlemen. They'd be like, oh, I think I'm having a low sugar as they were going off for tea. But just to sort of make it, I found that it felt like a hug, you know, but so we can all share in the same, I don't know, language, I suppose. But yeah, you find that once people get comfortable in a positive way, they will start to be a lot more, you know, or even check on you. They'll be like, are you sure you're okay? So you'll be like, oh, does my face look a bit pale or you know, a bit off or whatever? So, and I'd say maybe like in a relationship, like as a partner, I would say be very hands on. Be very hands on in terms of if they're, I don't know, carbohydrate counting, for example, you will know the quantities that they eat. So when you're plating food up for them, you can be able to I don't know, be like, oh, that's 20 grams of carbohydrates. And the same thing carries snacks or hypo treatments. Um, Emotionally, it will be like, oh, I'm sorry you're having a hard day. Is there any way I can help? Or if that's not their style, then you find other things. You know your partner best. So it's about accessing them at their point of need. Yeah.
And I guess, yeah, so the love languages will come in to support them with their diabetes. Yeah.
Yes,
And
100%.
yeah, and so and for parents, and especially in this world we're living in, it's very different to the world we lived in as teenagers. So how can they support their teenagers who've been diagnosed with diabetes?
So for
The
me,
influences, social media, and all these challenges on TikTok, which are so dangerous some of the time. So yeah, how do they support them?
whew, that is not an area I don't even feel qualified to be able to.
Or putting yourself in your teenager self when you were first diagnosed. Is
Yeah.
there anything you felt maybe your parents could have done in addition to what they already did?
Hmm. I think so one parent was more proactive than the other. Um, which so I never really experienced like a gap.
Okay.
It was always very, very proactive, very, very doting, very um how can I make this better for you? It was like that type of one parent, and then the other parent was a lot more distant. Um so what I would say based off of that is try and show the child that there is nothing that they cannot do. They are not excluded from things, and how can they do it better? How I don't know, because you're also learning, I suppose, as a parent. So you're learning together. I don't know.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
There's something my dad said to me that brought me a lot of comfort. He said, in parenting, there is no manual. You're just sort of doing your best, or what you think is your best. Sometimes you think it's your best and it's actually your worst. So, based off of that, I would say maybe advocate for your child. And perhaps in doing that, you are demonstrating to them how to advocate for themselves. And I mean positive advocacy.
Yes.
So it would be like, okay, attending the clinics, how can they do better? And not criticizing, not be like, oh, so and so is doing better than you. No comparisons. Um, and learning how to inject them, perhaps. I remember my dad gave up sugar in tea to show me that I could too. So it was, as I said, very proactive. uh, standing there with the Diet Cokes and the crackers. So when people are cutting the cake, it's like oh, you're really cramping my style. All the brownie points gone. But now I appreciate those things. I understand that that was him showing me that I could, showing me that he was present, showing me that he understands, and all of those things. And he always made sure that there was Diet Coke. And I mean, these were times when Diet Coke was not something in Kenya that you would just find. You would need to make an extra effort.
Yeah.
Going as far as having it stocked in the local, I don't know, corner shop equivalent kiosk. So that if I wanted, then it was readily available.
Yeah. So yeah, just being present and that dedication and leading by example. Not taking sugar in his tea, so you can also see it can be done.
Yeah.
Now, like how do you get that balance, right? Where you're proactive. How do you get the balance so that you're proactive and you're not crowding or you're not now taking over? How, from your point of view as a teen, what do you feel would be helpful to parents in that way?
What would be helpful? I feel like at this point you already know your child, but you're learning a different version of them because as a teenager they are now evolving into their own self. But you already have like the baseline. So you know how this child works. Let me give you an example, but of something different. So I had this lady on social media who was talking about, I think she's the mother of a famous footballer, but I don't know his name yet. So his mother was talking about how he's her. So this boy is the last born in the family, and the others have high flyers. I forget I'll send you the clip. What their skill sets are or what their careers are. But the last born was just not performing very well at school. So one day during family dinner, the dad, I think, prodded him and was like, "What's going on with your education?" And he's like, "Dad, I don't like education. I want to play football." And the dad, being West Africa, was like, "What do you mean?" And then the older son advocated for his younger brother and was like, "Dad, I also wanted to be a footballer. And who knows, maybe now I'd be high flying. So don't completely quash him. Just, hear him out." So the dad was like, "Okay, we'll take you to a football academy." And so the mother's the one narrating the story, and she said that was the last time he ever came back with a low grade.
Wow.
So it's in that little story is kind of like serves as an analogy of perhaps being attentive to your child and your child's needs as a diabetic, and then being able to mitigate them in a way that serves and is safe, serves the purpose and is safe for them, and maybe a little bit forward looking. So you don't want to disempower them. You want them to also feel that they can do it.
Yeah. And I guess on that note, for young children and youngers, what do you feel schools need to do to support them, especially with type 1 diabetes?
My experience was the school I attended was good and it had a great capacity. And I remember one of the teachers was actually on a special diet because she had a heart condition.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wondered why they couldn't just make small modifications for me as a diabetic. They blatantly just said no. And I know they could.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the temperature or I mean not temperature temperament is right now, but I'd imagine people are a lot more aware, and I'd imagine that we're in an age where teachers are taught certain things. So maybe as a from a parent perspective, which I'm not yet, I would say work with other people, work with and find maybe other mothers who are more seasoned in this area of life, that they can, instead of repeating the same mistakes, you can learn from the ones they'll share with you. Like I found some great tips from like online from there's this lady who has two diabetic sons, and I thought that is brilliant. I wish I had that when I was younger.
And what was it, out of curiosity?
So she
If you're
would,
able to share.
when she's packing the children's food, she writes the amount of carbs on each thing. So I thought, whoa, that is brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely. So then it helps them just to know, they can make that decision for themselves.
How to inject mostly.
Yeah,
How to inject based on the carbohydrate portion.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then I think it's also lovely to do it that way. Then it's not her saying you must eat this amount and you must inject this, because then they won't learn how to manage themselves. And it's so important that they learn when they're young, because you're not going to be with your parents all the time. So
Yeah.
you need to be given that space to learn and to start being in that process where you make those informed decisions for yourselves. Yeah, yeah.
And
And
it's like
now,
whatever snack you choose,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And now, you mentioned traveling, and there's nothing like traveling light for you. And so I guess what helps you when it comes to traveling? Maybe is there any your best tip when you're traveling for someone who is type 1 diabetic? Or when you're going to events like you're meeting for dinner or something, when you're out of your routine, I think maybe that's where the challenge is for many people. So
Yeah.
now what have you discovered is a good thing to do when you're traveling or when you're going out socializing?
I'll start with the travel. So the first thing is to know your rights.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that people forget is you're allowed an extra luggage, not like a whole
Mm-hmm.
luggage, but you're allowed reasonable luggage to accommodate the fact that you have an extra thing. So imagine if it was someone on a wheelchair, they would need to bring their wheelchair with them.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, what you're carrying is your wheelchair. So you have the right
Mm-hmm.
to take an additional thing that is filled with all the things you need, all your supplies for your diabetes. So I take advantage of that and I declare straight away
Yeah.
that I am diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
So once I get to the desk or whoever, I'm like, I am diabetic. So that you know what you're what you're working with, what those strange liquids are,
Yeah.
what all the injections are,
Yeah.
and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
And most people, you might get extra checks where they're like, oh, they'll swab you, they'll all of that, um, and to reduce on your stress levels. Just let it be. Don't be frustrated by the amount of times they might want to swab you, or this is just a random check. Your random check might be 4 checks before you enter the plane. It has happened to me. So just let it be like, okay. If you find anything, please do take it away. Just take it with a light heart. And the other thing is, if you can go and have assistance with checking in, but you have to ask for it. So you would need to, I forget what they call that desk, and they would assign someone and carry you on those buggies. Unfortunately, you'll be with the older people, but you'll have.
Oh yeah, the assistants. Yeah, I've done it for my mom.
Okay.
No, but it's really helpful. Yeah, and they're
Yes.
very kind. Very,
Yes.
yeah.
So please do take advantage. Maybe if you're traveling but not feeling 100%, or maybe it was rough for you even just to get to the airport and you think, whew, I need a bit of a break, or you just had a low sugar and you don't want to, you don't escalate things. Just be honest, be like, I'm having a low sugar, or I just had one and I would like some help, and they will help you.
They will, yeah. And I think what you need to do is when you're checking in, just tell them you need that assistance, and then there's a way they put it on your boarding pass, and then that's it.
Yeah,
So there are means and ways. We just have to be open and to ask. Yeah.
yeah.
And on that note, what can airlines or airports do besides these things that they're doing to make it easier for type 1 diabetics to travel?
One of the things that absolutely annoys me.
Mhm.
I know dose adjustment for normal eating is a thing,
Mhm.
but if I put that on the side for now, most times they'll give you a bread roll, especially on longer flights. And I'm just like, you mean to tell me? It clearly says diabetic meal. You cannot provide a brown roll for me? Just one brown roll? Is that so inconveniencing, sir? Well, madam, whoever, CEO, whoever deals with putting this meal together. And I'm just like, hello, can it have, I don't know, spices are allowed.
Mhm.
They're,
Yeah,
I'll just
yeah,
put it out there.
they ban them.
Sometimes it's just like a chicken breast that's been boiled or steamed and not even the slightest inclination of salt.
No.
And I'm just like, mate, my taste buds are not dead.
Mhm.
Said in the nicest way.
Mhm.
And the other food has spices. I just wonder if you could just, pass them over
Mhm.
when you're cooking the other meal, just pass them over. I know most people with diabetes might have high blood pressure or whatever, multiple conditions, so you might not want to put the salt in. But a dash of spice would be nice in a brown roll.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have some way to go. And it's interesting because I remember I was coming from a trip last year, and I thought this was just for the regulars, but I'm sad to hear even when you've specifically said you're diabetic, they haven't completed the process. So I was coming back last year, and I won't mention the flight, but
Mm.
for breakfast.
Mm.
It was a packet of juice. There
Mm-hmm.
was yogurt, which was sugared. There was a biscuit, and then there was basically just high sugar, high carbs. And I'm like, I didn't eat it. I didn't eat it because I'm just like, this is the first thing I'm eating after having dinner the previous day, and you just want me to shoot my levels up. And I'm thinking, or these are some of the things that contribute now to pre-diabetes, diabetes type 2, because it's like there's no education on what is a balanced meal. We were all taught in primary school, but apparently, I don't know if out of cost, maybe it's easier, quicker, cheaper to give us the wrong food. But meanwhile, it's like you're just trying to kill me. I could so I was so shocked. So I took a picture and I sent to my other colleagues and I'm like, look at what they're serving for breakfast. And the thing is people won't know, so they'll gladly eat it. And then we wonder why we are having all these chronic illnesses. It's the thing, like you said before, even with our mood, the things we're eating. So yeah, airlines, please.
Hello, airlines. We are ready for the panel
Yeah.
at six figures with all our experience.
Mm-hmm.
We will consult.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yes, spices have not been banned. You're allowed.
Just a dash. Just
Even
as
a
you
dash, a
as you're
dash.
doing it on the other food, just pass it
Yeah,
over the diabetic one.
yeah,
You know, just
yeah. We don't mind seeing some color because of some spice or. My goodness, yeah. So, what else was I gonna say? We've covered a lot, Mercy.
I wanted to ask, with
Yeah.
the flight you were taking, were you going on a marathon? Because maybe they were trying to
Hey, I
bulk,
tell you. But then I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have
were
made
they
it.
trying to bulk up your carbs?
Hey, I don't know what they because it was coming back and it was a
I'm
cruise.
joking. I'm joking.
But no, like it's like, yeah, what are they thinking that we're going for? Some I don't even know. But yeah, oh yeah, airlines. Let's do better. Let's do better. So, things have changed. Things are changing. What do you see? Uh, how do you see the future of diabetes and the care, especially that patients are receiving? How do you see it changing as times continue to move along?
For me now, what really bothers me is
Mhm.
sorry, can you stop recording? Can we stop recording?
Oh,
My
so last two questions. Someone is they inspired, and I know they will be. Three things they can do starting today as
yes,
a type 1 diabetic that will just get them on that steady journey of managing their sugar levels and their condition. Three things that they can start today.
they can start today is check your sugar levels.
Yeah.
If you're unsure, check. If you're sure, check.
Mhm.
So then it informs you. So you will attach maybe a feeling or a what's going on. I uh, I saw a pattern.
So checking your blood sugar level.
Checking your sugar levels so that you can attach them to something. So the example I gave was attaching the fight or flight to elevated sugar levels.
Mhm.
So I now know, for example, what that negative stimulus, what it does to my body. Other times it's like eating certain food groups. So it informs you. The first thing is being informed and looking out for patterns, and then you can action the patterns. So it's a continuous journey of improving because your body is not the same throughout the years, throughout the months, even on the same day, from morning to evening. The second thing I would say is always remain hydrated. Hydration is so important because if you think about it from like a scientific point of view, being hydrated affects how, to make it simple, how effective things are working in your body. It is it has such a big impact. I sometimes think, especially in the winter where you're not necessarily feeling thirsty, you think, oh, I haven't drank any water today, and then maybe your sugar levels are on the higher side. So I would drink some water and just go on a slow, steady walk. And that is all that was needed to get things moving without much effort, without injecting more insulin, which leads on to the third point, which would be activity. Move your body. It doesn't mean signing up to a gym or doing anything strenuous. It might exercise to you might look like doing housework. Exercise to you might just be moving a few boxes across the room. Exercise might mean just instead of taking the bus to the GP, you walk to the GP and then walk back. That would, it's the little things. Or exercise might look like parking the car the farthest spot from the shopping center so you can walk a little bit. You can always get the trolley when you're coming back with your stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what exercise might look like. Or I don't know, walking through the mall fast, or going through all the food aisles before, even as you're getting your food. You never know, you might come across a very good offer.
Yeah.
So those would be the three things.
Yeah, just simple. They seem little, but the effect will be so profound. So Mercy has given 3 fabulous tips that you can begin to use. Check your blood sugar, and even all the other tips that she's given throughout the episode. And the whole point of this podcast is to help you overcome the blocks and barriers to your health. So in this episode, we're talking about diabetes, and the previous episodes we've been talking about diabetes. But if you wanted to go further, you're struggling to check your blood sugar levels, we can explore that. If you're struggling to eat healthy, if you love your traditional foods, and you should love your traditional foods, there's no need to dismiss them. But if you find that you're struggling and you want to talk about it, then reach out. If you're finding it difficult to move, keep yourself active in some way. And I love that she mentioned activity could be just doing your house chores. So it doesn't have to mean the gym, but if you're struggling with exercise, you're struggling in some way, then let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's see what is possible for you. And I love what she said, being told, oh, you must do this and this way and that way. It doesn't work. So when we have our conversation, I'll just listen to you, listen to your preference, and also listen to your goal and help you find a way to meet that goal in a realistic and achievable way. So if you feel such a conversation would help you, would be benefiting to managing your blood sugar levels so they are steady, so you can sleep well, so you can still enjoy your freedom, then let's have a chat. Let's have a call, scan the QR code, or you can send me an email on admin@tracythehealthcoach.com. And the Tracy is spelled the correct way without an E. So we can have a conversation, see what's your challenge, and we can find a way to overcome that challenge so you can overcome the blocks and barrier to your health. So you've given us so much. You've taught us. I didn't even know, the person who patented insulin started it on the right note.
Yes.
£1, $1, but things have changed. Money and people are just thinking money, money, money. Education has been key in your journey. You're also a curious person. You're on this lifelong journey of learning, and it shows. You've just explained things so well, even for me who has that healthcare background, but you really explained it. You've really empathized with people. You get it. You get it when you're struggling with type 1 diabetes. So I know you were saying sometimes we need someone of influence to be there and speak for us. And I feel you would make such a great advocate. So for you, yes, and we would support you. So for you, what's the next step for you? And also what's the next step for, especially in this advocacy, that you're doing?
For me, I I really see the role in advocacy
Mm-hmm.
in any setting.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, sometimes I see things that can be easily fixed
Mm-hmm.
by just advocating from a knowing perspective. So I'll give you an example. I know someone whose father has multiple conditions,
Mm-hmm.
and then I advise them to have them wear the continuous glucose meter, just so that they could have, like a snapshot of a lot of information, and then use that to present that to the GP and be like, something needs to change here, or, as you said, evidence based.
Mm-hmm.
And I still see that not much is being done. So this person has very high sugar levels, and I'm wondering, the grand scheme of things, if that was brought down, it would regulate a lot of other things in the body. But I wonder is if they don't know, or if they are unable to advocate them for themselves properly. So I see this in many settings, and I always wonder, how can I, because it's quite it's a very, the doctor's room is like private and confidential, so there might be information that I may not be privy to, or things like that. But I always see the positive effect of self advocacy, or just advocating for oneself in a healthcare setting. And it's been, an area of interest. The second thing perhaps would be how to make insulin more accessible to people in the global majority. Because I feel that that is such a, you don't have a choice. It's not like you don't have a choice. And the impact of that on, for example, I've spoken to a few people who, are in very difficult situations, and they're like, I haven't had insulin for 2 or 3 days. And I think, wow. And they are maybe a breadwinner or the breadwinner. So that changes the dynamic of things, and also influences or drives the need to bring this to the forefront and have it addressed. In terms of bringing the cost down and making it more accessible. Not even more, just accessible. Yeah. And the third, perhaps, and last thing would be an education. Educating, giving people what I have been privileged to get here in the UK. Giving that to, for example, Kenyans, so they can make better decisions, so they can make informed decisions and have a good quality of life as a diabetic.
Mercy, thank you so much. I'm conscious of the time. I need to let you go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You
And
are
I'm sure
most
I'll get
welcome.
I'm sure I'll get feedback on how people have learned, people have been inspired, people are motivated to do more for themselves, whether advocacy or just eating healthy. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you too for putting this together
You're so welcome.
and
So
giving us
viewers,
platform.
you're welcome. You're so welcome. So for our viewers, thank you as well for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you've enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like, don't forget to share with someone who is type 1 diabetic or just diabetic in general, just to show them that there is hope, there's ways around what they can do. Thank you so
health,
much.
health is wealth. So spread the wealth around. People spread the wealth.
That's
Subscribe.
it.
Okay.
Spread the wealth, spread the wealth, spread the wealth. And I thank you all and see you on the next episode. Take care of yourself.